You don't have a discipline problem. You have a contamination problem. I want you to really look at the last time you failed. Not the big failures. I'm talking about the small, silent defeats that happen at 7:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. You promised yourself you go to the gym. You promised yourself you did write that proposal. But now you are on the couch. The phone is in your hand. The blue light is burning your retinas. There is a scream inside your chest that says, "Get up, move, do something." But your body feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. It feels like you are encased in concrete. And then comes the guilt, the voice that says, "You are lazy. You are weak. You are broken." You go to bed hating yourself, vowing that tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow is exactly the same. You are trapped in a loop of paralysis, followed by panic, followed by exhaustion. And I am here to tell you that everything you think you know about breaking this loop is a lie. You are trying to fight a chemical war with a psychological weapon, and that is why you are losing. The modern world has sold you a very dangerous story. It tells you that your behavior is a result of your willpower. If you aren't waking up at 5 a.m., it's because you don't want it enough. If you eat the junk food, it's because you lack grit. So what do? You hustle. You buy the planner. You watch the motivational video that screams at you to grind. You try to force your engine to run at 200 miles per hour. But you are trying to drive a Ferrari with sugar in the gas tank. You are applying force, but the machinery is clogged. The Bhagavad Gita, the ultimate manual on human psychology, diagnosed this problem 5,000 years ago. It says your suffering has nothing to do with a lack of effort. It has to do with a lack of alignment with nature, specifically your personal nature. In the Gita, Krishna does tell Arjuna to think positive. He tells him to understand the physics of his own mind. Krishna reveals that the universe and your mind is woven from 3 distinct threads. 3 qualities, 3 modes of operation. If you don't understand these 3 modes, you will spend the rest of your life fighting against gravity. But if you understand them, you can stop fixing yourself and start tuning yourself. The concept is called the Gunas. In Sanskrit, guna literally means rope or cord. This is not a poetic accident. The Gunas are the ropes that bind your soul to your body. They are the invisible forces that dictate how you feel, how you think, and how you act in any given moment. There are 3 of them: Tamas, Rajas, Sattva. Think of your mind not as a computer, but as a glass lens through which you see the world. The Gunas are the dirt, the cracks, or the clarity of that lens. Let's start with where you likely are right now. Tamas. Tamas is the mode of ignorance, lethargy, and darkness. It is gravity. When you are in a tamasic state, you are not just lazy. Your psychology is chemically depressed. Tamas is the urge to sleep when you aren't tired. It is the addiction to numbness. Scrolling, binge-watching, overeating. It is the fog that makes simple tasks feel impossible. When you are in tamas, the world looks gray, meaningless, heavy. Most people try to jump from this heavy state straight into perfection. They try to go from lying in bed, Tamas, to meditating like a monk, Sattva, and they fail every single time, because you cannot shift gears from reverse to fifth gear without destroying the transmission. This is the secret the modern world misses. To escape the mud of Tamas, you cannot use stillness. You must use fire. You must enter the second state, Rajas. Rajas is the mode of passion, activity, and desire. It is the fire of ambition. It is the anxiety of, I need to achieve. It is the restlessness that makes you tap your foot. Now, usually, spiritual teachers tell you that desire is bad, that Rajas is dangerous. And it is. Rajas is the hamster wheel. It is the state of never being satisfied, always chasing the next hit of dopamine, the next paycheck, the next lover. But here is the strategic unlock from the Gita. You need Rajas to kill Tamas. You cannot think your way out of lethargy. You must act your way out of it. Fire burns up the garbage. Only when you have moved from the heavy inertia of Tamas into the kinetic energy of Rajas can you finally shift into the ultimate state. Sattva. Sattva is the mode of goodness, balance, and illumination. It is the clear glass. When you are in Sattva, you don't need willpower to do the right thing. You do the right thing because it feels natural. Work feels like play. Discipline feels like flow. You aren't forcing the river. You are swimming with the current. The tragedy of the modern seeker is that they try to simulate Sattva while their biology is drowning in Tamas. They try to manifest abundance while eating Tamasic food, consuming Tamasic news, and hanging out with Tamasic people. You cannot polish the mirror while you are actively throwing mud at it. You are not fighting your personality. You are fighting the guna that is currently dominating your nervous system. Krishna says in chapter 14, verse 5, material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes. Conditioned, that means programmed. If you feed your mind tamas, you will be programmed for failure. If you feed your mind rajas, you will be programmed for burnout. If you feed your mind sattva, you will be programmed for peace. It is an input-output equation. So, how do we hack this? How do we use this ancient psychology to fix the 3 a.m. crisis? We stop relying on the lie of motivation. Motivation is an emotion. It is fleeting. The gunas are a mechanism. They are constant. The strategy is to recognize where you are and take the single next step up the ladder. If you are stuck in tamas, depressed, heavy, unmotivated, do not try to meditate. Do not try to read a philosophy book. You need to physically move. You need to induce rajas. Go for a sprint. Take a cold shower. Blast aggressive music. Clean your room with frantic energy. Do not wait to feel like it. Move the body, and the mind will follow. You must agitate the system to break the inertia. Once you are in motion, once you are in rajas, then and only then can you steer that energy towards sattva. But first, you have to stop the contamination. I am giving you a protocol, a diet for the mind. For the next 24 hours, I want you to conduct a forensic audit of your life. You need to identify the IV drip of Tamas that is plugged into your arm. We all have one. Maybe it is the sugar you put in your coffee that spikes and crashes your blood glucose. Maybe it is the 30 minutes of doom scrolling the news immediately after waking up. Maybe it is that one friend who drains your energy every time you speak to them. Identify one tamasic input. Just one. And for the next 3 days, eliminate it completely. Don't try to change your whole life. Just cut the cord of that one anchor. If it's the phone in bed, put the phone in the kitchen. If it's the junk food, throw it in the trash. Watch what happens to your energy. You will feel a withdrawal. That is the guna fighting back. That is the gravity trying to hold you down. Push through that friction with rajasic action. When the urge comes to scroll, do 10 push-ups. Replace the mud with fire, and eventually, the fire will settle into light. This is not about becoming a saint overnight. It is about realizing that you are not the machine. You are the operator of the machine. And right now, your machine is running on the wrong fuel. So, I have a question for you. I want you to be honest with me and honest with yourself in the comments below. Look at your last week. Is it the heaviness of Tamas? The anxiety of Rajas? Or the clarity of Sattva? Comment Tamas, Rajas, or Sattva below. Admitting the diagnosis is the first step of the cure. Stop trying to fix yourself. Start purifying your inputs. Clear the lens, and the light will enter on its own. Shanti.